questions, feel free to ask here. If you don't know that yet, I'll show you Visual JForex. Then you go to Visual JForex forum, and here you have a big community, so you can speak English if you're an English speaker, otherwise French, Chinese, Russian, Arab, and and you have here the knowledge base where you can ask all the questions you want. There is a team of 6 people answering questions all the time. If you have a strategy that is not working the way you want, you can post it here, and we will look through it. So let's go. Today we're going to. I hope you see the whole screen. So today we're going to do a strategy called 3 crowns and 3 soldiers. 3 crows and 3 soldiers. Basically, the idea is really basic. I have with this new tool, I don't see. Okay, good. So the idea is very basic. If we have 3 candles green, then we go for long. If we have 3 candles short, then we go for short. That's as easy as it gets. And then we will add other things. We might add an indicator. We might add a time frame. We might add a limit based on the use of leverage or on the profit, etc., etc. So we're going to start like that, and then do not hesitate to ask questions, and the strategy will evolve as we build it. So first, as usual, we are going to filter. So I'm going quite quickly because you're drilled now. You know, you click here. I always do that because I think it's much more nicer. You see immediately when the link is broken, and visually purple and gray is better. So here it's red. That means some part are missing. You know, really, you don't need to point exactly here. You can point anywhere you want. Now I want to work on euro dollars. Or no, actually, we always work on euro dollar, so we're going to change. I right-click on Edit Variable. I right-click on Default Instrument, Edit Variable, and today we're going to work with, well, let's say GBP USD. Go. So we're going to work on candles. So I want the candle instrument to be what I've set up as the default instrument, and I can see here it's GBP USD. That's done. Then I want to work with 10-minute candles actually. So I'm going to try to take the default period, right click, edit. It's 10 minutes. Am I happy with 10 minutes? Yeah. I might change that later on, maybe try to put longer periods, shorter periods to see what's the best. So I want the candle period to be equal to what I set up as default period. Okay. Here we go. Candle period is here. So that's done. We have defined our instrument and our candle period. Okay. Now we continue. basically the idea is to check if the candle is red or green. So we're going to take if. We want to compare the open and the close. So there are actually two ways of doing that. We could do as we're going to do now, which is each time a new candle is coming, check if it's open or closed, and then well, check if the previous one is open or closed, and then make a little counter that is going to increase each time or get back to 0. We could use a loop, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to check here. Candle open, candle close. So we're going to get a little counter. So we're going to use calculation. So if the candle open is superior to candle close, that means the candle is bearish. Yep, open here, close here, so it's going down, it's bearish. So if candle is superior, then we're going to create our counter. Red out. Start value, it's always a good practice, 0. We could put here a little, this counter tells how many red candles we get in a row.
So the error message is about.
So here we're going to add 1, and that's going to be the result of our calculation. Very important.
So
settings. Multiply would have no sense. Sum. Okay. Then I want to what do I want to do else? I want to tell that the green counter has to be reset to 0. Okay, so I'm going to use assign. So I could put it before or after. Doesn't really make a difference, but I don't know, that's how my brain works. I prefer assign the other counter to 0 first, but really it makes no difference, right? So I'm going to call that the green counter. Start value should always be 0. I mean, it's good practice to put starter value. Save. Up. So, if the candle open is superior to the candle closed, then the green counter is reset to 0, and the red counter is incremented by 1. So far, so good. Now, because I'm a little bit lazy, I'm going to use the control key, copy, paste. Now, if candle open is less, so it's green, so it's going up. So I'm going to assign the value 0 to the red counter, and I'm going to increment the green counter. See how I do that? Up, up. I don't need to go and get it from here. I just can. I'll check the settings anyway. You can always do that. Good. Now, if it's equal, well, basically, I'm just gonna control here, copy, paste. Hopla. Red, green, up, copy, paste, done. Hopla. And because I like it nice and tidy, I'm going to use the control key again. Right click, create group, and I'm going to name this group. By mercy, name your groups. Ready. Filter. What pair I've stated, I don't remember now. GPB USD. Or I'll just write filter instrument, because that's the change, and period. Save. That's it. So, the create dispatcher. So we have all our assigns here. Then the implementation, and if it's flat, so it's flat, so we just reset both. Now, if it's flat, what is going to happen? The flow is going through there, it's going to go there, it's going to reset the counters to 0, and that's it. End of the flow. So it's going to go back there because there's nothing else to do. Obviously, we didn't have 3 green or 3 red in a row, so we just come back to the start point. See here, I'm using the little wheel on my mouse, and I can zoom in and zoom out. Actually, here I'm zooming in, and now I'm zooming out. I'm going to try not to zoom too much because then it's difficult to read with the screen sharing. Just let me check, no questions. So, once I've done this part here, what do I want to do? I want to check how many green and red candles do I have. So, logical if, here I'm going to if green counter is equal to, so here I'm going to create a variable because I might think 3 is too much or not enough, so I might change. So I'm going to call it candle target. Yeah. Start value here I cannot put 0. I'm gonna put 3. Save. So if I have 3 green candles in a row, I'm gonna open at market, trading, open at market. So if it's equal, so if it's less, of course not. If it's superior, well, it should not be superior. Should not. So open at market, buy, and then we want to reset to 0. Otherwise, next time it will be like 4, 5, 6. So it's never gonna, makes no sense. So I'm gonna retake this assign, place block, done. So let's check. So candle open is less than candle close. So we assign 0 to the red counter. We increment the green counter by 1. We check if we have 3. If we don't, then here it's the end of the flow, so we go back here. Then, if it is, we open at market and reassign the value 0 to our green counter. So when we go back, we have open at market, we have reassign 0 to the green counter, and reassign 0 to the red counter. We're happy with that. Now, again, I'm going to use the control key just because I'm lazy, so very efficient. Copy, paste, and here we have all our blocks here. We just need to change the parameter now. So we don't want to check the green, but the red. Up. And here we want to open at market, but we want to sell. And then we assign 0 to the red counter. We have already assigned 0 to the green here. So we want here to assign 0 to the red. That's it. And to check that, we can actually put them side by side. We should have exactly the opposite. Here we go. Here we go. So red, green, green, red, green, red, buy, sell, green, red. We are happy. And here, well, there's nothing else to do. Good. So that does exactly what we wanted. Now, we might think, well, that's good, but I'm going to have one candle who's going to open, then another one, then, I might not want to have too many things open, and I don't want to hedge, actually. Or I might think, well, that's very good, but I don't want to trade during weekend. Or, whoever, if you have any If you have any suggestions, feel free to post them in the chat. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to check before opening that no one position is already open. All right? So here before opening, I want to check with if position info, all position, position amount. Want to check if the position amount is 0. So if the position amount is 0, then that's fine for me, I open. If it's not, I could either close the position and open a new one, or just let the not open the new one and let the one that already exists as it is. And that's what I'm going to do. But in any case, I want to reset my green counter. So I'm going to do the green counter equals 0. So what's going to happen? To open is less than close. So red counter to 0, green counter increases. If green counter is equal to 3, then I reset it to 0. I check if the position amount is 0. If it is, I open that market. Now, if the counter is 0, 1, or 2, well, nothing happens. We just go back and check the next candle. Now here, if the position amount is superior to 1, it's superior to 0, then, okay, inferior, it obviously cannot be inferior to 0. So if it's superior, well, nothing happens. We are not opening. So it goes back to the next. Right? So it goes back to the next candle where we're going to check again. Alright? So now we just have to copy what we've done already. So I click on the little strings to delete them. It, and that's it. So that's in case we don't want more than one position. Now, we might think this is very good, but I want to check, let's say, my use of leverage. So I go to account, and I see here a use of leverage. So I'm going to say if my use of leverage is superior to 20%, I'll put 50. Or better, I will create the max use of leverage. $50, that sounds good. So I can change all my parameter from here directly. I don't have to look for them. If user, then I want to close and cancel all my positions. So I'm going to look for my positions first. Close and cancel. Position viewer. So first I want to aggregate all my positions, even if I know I have only one. That's not the point. So if I reach, or if it's superior. So positions, I just take all the positions. Here, my cost, save. If I'm going too fast, you tell me. Hello, Mohan Muslim. Any questions? Feel free. And then I'm going to close my position. So if I have more than one, like if I change here and think, well, let's say I can have two positions, or 3 or 5, or no maximum. If I decide that I don't want any maximum, I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then stop when my use of leverage reaches 1 point. Here it's going to close, and then come back here. So I could do two things. I could put that at the end, here, open at market, over market, and then up. Both go here, or I could, and that's the choice I'm going to make here, use the multiple action. So I'm first no, because I want to filter first, actually. Point up. So I'm first going to filter, and then go for my multiple action. Here we go. So we have our starting point. We filter here. Then multiple action works like that. That's the first flow in order. Then the second one. So first I'm going to check my use of leverage. If my use of leverage is less than my target, I come back here and then go back to the normal flow. Way, keep it tidy. If it's less, if it's more, then I'm going to close all my positions and come back here and start here again. That's for the use of leverage. What else could I have? I could actually check which day I'm trading, and I could say I do not want to trade like on Fridays. No. And I don't want to trade on Mondays. Too dangerous. So I don't want to trade Friday, and of course I don't want to have any positions open on the weekend. So let's do just that. So our filter doesn't change. Our multiple action is going to change. But let's go. I'm going to use something called get time unit. So I'm going to take the last candle time. Settings, I want here the day of the week. Day. Day. Do I want to put a start value? No, I don't. Because anyway, it's going to, we create this value, this variable with a value. We create this variable to assign a value to it. Then I'm going to use my if. So if the day is, so Friday is the 5th day, I'm actually going to create a variable. First, no trading day, save, and then I will use the block for this time my last trading day. Last no trading day. Here we go. So my first non-trading day is 5. It's day 5, it's Friday. So first no trading day, right click, I'm going to put 5 here. So if it's equal to 5 or greater than 5, I'm going to continue checking. If it's less, it's let's say Tuesday, then the flow comes back here, and it goes on the other blocks. Then here, what's my last non-trading day? It's Monday, so it's 1. So let's check. If we are on day 2, what's going to happen here? Going to go there. If we're on day 3, 4, same thing. If we're on day 5, then we want to use this position view and close and everything. Now, can I do that? I can. So here I'm going to close all my positions. So if we're on day 5, I'm going to close everything. if it's greater than 5, which means Saturday and Sunday, 6 and 7, same thing, I close everything. Now, if it's less, I want to check if we're on Monday or not. Because we could be day 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't want to trade on day 1. Then I come here. If day is equal to 1, then again I want to close. If it's not, it comes back here. So I'm first going to check here we go, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to close all the positions. So that means I will have no positions open during the weekend. Okay, on Friday all positions are going to get closed. So let's review that. Position viewer, all position, my positions, position closed. Now I could, what else could I do? Let's check if we have any questions. What other parameters could I have here? Trade amount. I could decide that my trade amount is going to be a linear function of my money. So I can go to mathematical, go to calculation. It's going to be commented to that.
Нет, это как раз может быть что все выгодно, да. Потому что такое он не присылал.
So first, I want to calculate what is going to be my here open at market. See, in input value, the amount. I want to check what amount do I want. So if I take my account here, I've got equity. So I'm going to take my equity and I'm going to take 10% of my equity. I'm going to use the expression, you will understand why. So I take equity. Equity is here. I'm going to multiply equity by 4.1. That's going to give me 10%. So equals A1 multiplied by A2. So far, nothing really challenging, except it's not an Excel spreadsheet, so you don't put the equal here. And result of calculation, my amount. Save. So first I'm going to calculate my amount and then go to the other. Now, something very important. Here the equity is in units. Like if I have $20,000, it's going to multiply 20,000 by 0.1, which is 2,000. So my amount here will take the value 2,000. That in this block here, the amount is not in units, it's in millions. So if I put here directly 2,000, it's going to mean 2,000 millions. And obviously the position is not going to open. So I want to add another line up to convert my units in millions. Alright, so I'm going to multiply it by A3. A3. Here we go. So I could have used only one expression, but you know, I think it's better like that. Then you really understand what's going on. Our equity is divided by 10. When we take 10% of the equity, and then we convert that in millions by dividing it by this thing here. Then I got my amount, which I'm going to put here, and here. Where is amount? My amount here. I drag and drop it from here. That's it. I could the same way calculate my slippage, calculate my stop loss, calculate my take profit. I could say on Tuesdays I'm ready, you know, I want a bigger take profit, or on Mondays I want I don't check my, and on Mondays I want a lower take profit. I could calculate my stop loss by any means I want. Remember here I can choose pips or price, so I could make any kind of calculation. Put that here, sounds better. Okay, so first I'm going to check my amount, then my use of leverage. I could do the opposite, it's not going to change anything. What's important is that when we arrive at the third one, where we start to check for the candles, we have already calculated our amount and we have already calculated our use of leverage. We could have cloned that and put it over here, but it's not good. It's not going to be neat. It's better here. Generally speaking, try to keep it nice and tidy. Give a relevant name to your variables. See here, I have variables called red count, green count, count target, maximum use of leverage, day, etc., my amount, etc. So it's going to be very easy for me to change my amount. Right click edit, or to change the day, to change the amount of candles I'm ready to see 3, I could change to 2, to 4. But if you have variables called use 11, use 12, use 13, use 15, use blah, 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 then it's going to make it much more challenging. Okay, so that's it for today. I will remind you that you can go to the Dukascopy support board, Visual JForex, English. You have the frequently asked questions, knowledge base, etc. You're more comfortable with other languages. We have French, Dutch, Arab, Russian, and Chinese. Okay, that's it for me for today. So, except if you have any questions, I'll see you tomorrow for a Visual JForex webinar in French. Otherwise, stay tuned. Next week at the same time, you will have another Visual JForex webinar in English. Thank you. Goodbye.